Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps. And I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised as a woman of color.
Yeah, so someone needs to check in on the ladies of The View, because it does not seem like they're having a very fun time today, as you could probably imagine.
How you feel? I'll start. Yeah, go ahead. My takeaway is that the system works. We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation arises.
I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately.
Guys, as you can probably tell, it's going to be a really fun 4 years ahead. So please do us a big favor. If you're enjoying the content, there's never been a better time to hit that red subscribe button. Why should you subscribe? Because it ensures we can keep bringing you these videos, and it's a celebration right now. So do us a big favor. Let's try to get to 400,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Now, this is yet another chronicle, and this is something we're going to be covering a lot, of Democrats, despite this now happening to them twice, still not understanding, or maybe it's an act of defiance, the reason they lost in the first place. Now, hilariously, it's hard to blame white supremacy when Trump got a record and dominant share of the Hispanic vote, and even, did better with black men, etc. So the new cope, for instance, here from Sunny Hostin, was that the reason, for instance, Hispanic men would not support Kamala Harris couldn't possibly have something to do with their stated reasons, right? Many opinion polls going into the election, the exit polls also said the economy was the top issue, immigration was coming in second place, and couldn't have anything to do with that. No, the only reason that cackling Kamala lost this election is because of misogyny. Take a listen.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
This is why we are destined to keep winning, okay? The excitement, the high that you are feeling right now, fellow conservatives, over this Trump victory, I look at this and I say it's never coming down, because 8 years later, they're still doing the same playbook. They still somehow fail to realize that whole talking point right there, if you disagree with our politics, you must be a misogynist. That is the reason that Hillary lost. That's also a part of the reason that Kamala lost. And instead of thinking to yourself as a party, okay, maybe we got to moderate. And by the way, it's never a good strategy to blame the voters in politics, okay? They don't owe you their vote. Go out there and prove why people should have voted for Kamala Harris. No, it's misogyny. That's the only reason. Okay. Let's check in more, though, on Sunny Hostin, because it's truly just hilarious to take a listen to here. Who, by the way, keep in mind, this is the same person who claimed that Kamala Harris was running a perfect campaign. Joy Reid said similar things. Again, the failure to take any accountability. They call Donald Trump a child. They say, oh, well, he never wants to admit when he's wrong. All right, let's take a listen to them then.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And
you'll live, Sonny. Okay, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
We know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry Not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher.
The same working class that went way more Republican this time. You had no concern over the working class when they were dealing with the inflation of this administration and unable to pay their bills. But suddenly now that they lost you the election, now suddenly, oh, I worry so much for them, says the rich person. You just don't know what you're doing, poor person. Do you even... It's so patronizing.
Worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that.
Where? What are you talking about?
So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should not be prevented from employment in this country, because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons.
Well,
and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for.
It wasn't at risk when illegal immigrants were backing up all the emergency rooms. But you know what? The points I'm bringing up right now really do summarize why the American people did not believe Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Because they're claiming to, we're so concerned for the working class, but inflation's not real. We're so concerned with healthcare, but let's let the illegal immigrants like flood all the entire healthcare system, the education system, et cetera, et cetera. Totally tone deaf. Like I said, these people will never learn their lesson, and it's great. It's fantastic. Because you know what? This is a point I'm going to bring up in future videos in more detail. But for a long time, the Democrat perception was that time was on their side, right? Because you have demographic change, both racially and age also, right? The baby boomers are getting older, they're passing away. The GOP was the boomer party. What you saw this time around is that the electorate for Trump got significantly younger, okay? It was Gen X primarily, not the boomers, that delivered that victory for Trump. So we just bought ourselves another 20 years. He got record shares of Gen Z, especially one Gen Z men, it seems like right now, won them by an outright margin. And even on the racial front, right? The whole idea was that, with changing demographics in America, Democrats are in a very good position. And then somehow they own themselves because Hispanics basically split 50-50 for Trump. Even in terms of the population distribution in this country, take a look at what's estimated for the 2030 census and how that's going to do the apportionment for the Electoral College. Spoiler, it favors a lot of the states that just went for Trump. A lot of blue states like California and New York are going to lose population. If these people don't get their act together fast, that whole script about how the GOP was a dying party just got totally flipped on its head. And what are they doing right now? More of the same. You'll love to see it. And by the way, if this is how Democrat primary voters are going to be thinking in 2028, they're not going to use their heads. They're going to get more woke than ever. Good luck winning that election against President-elect J.D. Vance. Just saying.
Economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps. And I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
So that is why Trump won the popular vote, guys, and swept all of the battleground states. Couldn't possibly be because of something real. No. It was all just cultural resentment. Okay. 50, like more than half literally of this country is just deeply racist. And that's the only reason they didn't vote for Kamala Harris. That's it. Their actual concerns, their actual issues, listening to the voters. No, Democrats, let's not do that after we lose an election. Let's just shame them instead. Let's just attack them. Again, I really wonder how that is as a political strategy. But that is far from the last stupidity that you're going to hear out of Sunny Hostin. Take a listen now. Okay, so she just said earlier it was misogyny. But then you ask the question, why did white women not deliver for Kamala Harris the way that they thought? Apparently, the white women are also in on it. The entire country, guys, is just in on this bigoted scheme to keep Kamala Harris out of the presidency. It's everyone except Sunny and her panel here of woke liberals. That's it. They're the only good people in America, the people on this table, apparently. Take a listen.
So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms? And why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to deport, says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this race.
Again, these people are just so delusional. And of course, it's always the voters' fault. It's always the voters' fault, right? Apparently, you know, at the very least, though, I will say, at least they're not blaming Russia this time. At least they're admitting the American people really did vote for Donald Trump, because that's not what they did last time. So there's no Russia. But still, it's the fault of the voters. It's the fault of misogyny. Take a listen here to Joy Behar. Apparently, it's also the fault of free speech. OK, if there was just mass censorship and no First Amendment in America, then Kamala Harris would have won. That's the argument. Take a listen.
Kids in nursery school are learning to discern between fake news and real news. Yeah. They should be teaching that in this country. Yeah. Teach children tolerance. Teach them to think critically.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
Yeah, so there you basically have it. As we all, I'm sure, predicted, when Democrats lost, they were going to learn all of the wrong lessons. Because what is the correct lesson? The correct lesson is we need to do some soul searching. We need to moderate ourselves socially as a party, first of all, and then figure out an economic plan and actually run a candidate, by the way, who seems authentic, who does not totally seem like the fakest person on the planet. Also, figure out a populist way to sort of win back that working class vote. They're doing none of those things. You know, you just hear themselves, right? The reason Kamala Harris apparently lost the presidential election is because of the voters and because of free speech. There you have it. The voters are just bad people. And also, there's too much freedom on social media. That's why. If we just censored social media, if we just didn't let the people vote and think for themselves, then we would have won the election to save democracy. Okay. Okay, thank you for that, guys. Anyways, like I said, it's going to be a very fun 4 years to just watch all of this unfold. This is far from the last time. Just wait till he takes office. Okay, wait till he takes office. Whether it's mass deportations or an economic plan to actually bring down the cost of things, it's going to be a fun time, okay? It really is. So with that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. Enjoy the show the next 4 years. And until next time, God bless and peace.